Hello everyone, today we are looking at the two-sum problem, aka Leetcode question 1. It's one of the most popular questions on Leetcode, and if you are a premium Leetcode user, you can navigate to the companies page, companies tab, and you will see that this question has been asked so many times by everyone in the last 6 months. As always, we will look firstly at a brute force solution, and after that at more optimal versions. My opinion is that if you want to pass the coding interview, you need to talk your interviewer through all of the solutions before writing any line of code. And that's what we are going to do. Let's dive into it. So the problem reads, given an array of integer nums and an integer target, we need to return the indices of the two numbers such as they add up to target. You may assume that each input would have exactly one solution, and you may not use the same element twice. So now that's crucial because we don't need to look for any kind of edge cases. We've got here 2, 7, 11, and 15 with target 9. So we need to return 2 and 7 as they add up to 9. Actually, we are going to return the indices, so 0 and 1. For the second example, we've got 3, 2, 4, and a target of 6. And we need to return 1 and 2 as 2 and 4 add up to 6. And for the third example, we've got a duplicate, and bear in mind that here we need to return 0 and 1 and not 00 or 11, as that would violate one of the conditions of the problem. Now let's try to break down the problem. We are going to have the numbers 2, 7, 11, 15 with target 9. The classic brute force way to solve this problem is to create two loops where they will be checking every number against every other number, and if they find the match, aka the target, they will return their indices. If we proceed with this solution, we are going to have a quadratic time complexity, aka big O of n squared, and that's not ideal. Now let's try to solve the same problem with a hash map. In our hash map, we'll be mapping each number to the index of its value. Oh, let me grab the pen again. Yep, okay, so in our hash map, we will be mapping each number to the index of its value. So the index of 2 is 0, the index of 7 is 1, the index of 11 is 2, and the index of 15 is 3. So that's going to be a value to index map. In other words, the numbers will be the keys of the object or the map, and the indices of the values of it. So we are creating our map. Let's type in here hash and 2, which is the first value of the array, is mapped to 0, as all arrays in JavaScript are index 0. 7 is the second value of that, so it will map to 1, 11 will be mapped to 2, and 15 will be mapped to 3. Apologies for my handwriting. So the main idea here is to create a found key every time that we move to the next element of the array. So the found key is equal to our target value minus the current element of this array, which is now 2. The subtraction is equal to 7, and 7 is a number which is currently located in our hash map. Now what we need to check is if our map has that found key and if the key is in our current index. For the last bit we need to come here and check again the conditions of the problem. I'm not going to go through the if statements, the conditions here on the board. However, we are going to solve everything in the LeetCode's website. Last but not least, I can think of even a faster solution where we will need to follow the same indices approach as above. However, we do not need to populate the map with the array at the beginning. So what we need to do is to loop through the array and create two variables, the first number and the second number. The first number is going to be our current element of the array, and the second number will be again that subtraction, so the element that we are looking for, the target element. And now if the map indices includes the second element, so that subtraction, then we return the array of index, current index, and the index of the number 2. If we cannot find this number, then we populate the map with the current number and its index. Apologies if I have confused you with that explanation, but I think everything will become straightforward when we go to the JavaScript code. Alright, so let's start coding. The brute force solution is super straightforward. We need to create one loop from index 0 to index less than or equal of the length of the array minus 1. So for let I is equal to 0, I less than or equal to the nums array dot length minus 1, I plus plus, and after that we need to create a second loop where it's going to be something like j not equal to 0 but is equal to I plus 1, j less than or equal to nums dot length minus 1, j plus plus. And now we need the pass condition, and the pass condition is going to be nums of I plus nums of j is triple equal to target. So that condition means that when we find that match, that they add up to our target number, we just return their indices. So return I, j. If we run the code now, we can see that it's accepted, and let's submit it. So it runs all the tests at the back, and we can see that that's a pretty slow solution because it's a polynomial execution time, quadratic, sorry. So let's move on to something neater and way faster. So the one pass with copy of the array will be something like that we need to create a hash map. So I'm going to create the hash map using the higher order function called reduce. I know some people hate that function and other people love it. I belong to the first group. I really love that function because it can do a little bit of data manipulation as well. So we are going to say that const of our hash map is equal to the nums dot reduce, but the reduce is going to take 3 arguments. The first argument is our hash map, that's the number and the index, and we need to initialize our object aka hash map, and let's populate it. So hash map of number is equal to index, and now we need to return the hash map. So with that reduce function, what we have done is we have populated our hash map with key values pairs, and now we need to look through the nums array and check if our condition passes the test. So what I mean by that, let's iterate through that array firstly. And here what we need to do is check whether the hash map of the found key, so the found key is going to be our target minus the current element of the array. So if that found key, which is equal to target minus the current element of the array, is in our hash map and it's not revisited, as if it has been revisited before, it would violate one of the conditions of our problem. And how can we check that? So we can say that hash map of target minus nums of I is different than I, so the index. And if that passes, then we return I, comma, hash map of nums of I. And if we run that, oh, that's wrong. What have I done wrong here? Let me see. So of course I forgot to add target. Here we don't return the index of the current element, we return the index of the found element. Let's try that again, guys. So now it's accepted. Let's submit the solution then. And we can certainly see improver here, it's faster by 25–30%. Alright, so last but not least, I'm going to work on a one-pass solution, but without populating any map initially. Let's get rid of that. And for that solution, I'm going to use the map constructor from JavaScript, and I'm going to create again a hash map with a map constructor. And the only thing that I'm going to do, if you remember from my explanation at the beginning, is look through the array once, and I'm going to create our two numbers, the current number, so the current element of the array, and the found element, which I'm going to call second number just for convenience. So first number is equal to the nums of I, and the second number is equal to target minus nums of I. What we need to do now is check whether the second number is present in our hash map. Yeah, but I'm using the map constructor, so what I need to do is use the hash function, which will validate that condition. And here we need to add the second number, and if that's true, then we return I, the two indices, so I, comma, hash map of second number. Otherwise, what we have to do is we need to populate the value in the hash map. So to populate the hash map with the value, hash map.set, and that's first number, comma I. Yeah, that's wrong. That's first. Let's run it now. I'm getting a wrong answer. Let me have a look again. So yeah, of course, that's not an object we said. It's the map constructor. So we need to use the get function. and let's run it again. It's accepted, and let's submit it. Before we got 74%, let's see now. I didn't expect that, to be honest. I was expecting something way faster, something like 80-ish%. Anyways, it's again one pass solution, so it's more than accepted for every coding interview. Alright, that's all for today, guys. If you liked this video, click the ring button, subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment any questions that you have. I'm going to add in the description the links to this repository, so you can read the code if you want or if you need. Anyways, catch you in the next one. Ciao.